Peace and blessings. What's up, y'all? Hey, today let me share a story with you. When I was 6 years old, living in Madera, California, with my mom and my stepfather, um, we lived out on Avenue 17. We were buying our own home. My pops with my stepfather, my mom, and one night I will never forget this, man. One night I was laying. It was early in like three, maybe two, three, somewhere around that time, late at night. I was asleep, and I was like jolted out of my sleep, and I was looking towards my closet. My closet was straight ahead, and I was looking towards my closet, and I could see this shadow of some sort. And probably a lot of y'all went through, probably experienced the same thing, but check it out. And the next thing I know, that I felt completely paralyzed. I was wide awake. I couldn't speak. I couldn't yell. I just was stuck. I felt like this, whatever it was trying to smother me, and I felt like I was literally dying, and there's nothing that I could do. And I'm super young, and bro, I'm so spooked. And I'm just like, and I remember just like, making that sound like you're being, and my eyes are wide awake. I'm not asleep. My eyes is open, and I'm like, trying to shake this. What is this? What is this? But I know for a fact that I was on my way out. I know for a fact that, yeah, that was, and I was so scared, bro. And I think the last ditch effort that I can remember, because I know for a fact what I was yelling for was my mama. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know for a fact I was in my head just yelling for mom, mom, just because I was scared, bro. And the only thing that the last thing that I remember, this is what I remember, and this is on everything, bro. This is a true story. I ain't just sitting here making something up. Uh, the last thing that I remember, bro, I said in my head, Jesus, help me. That's exactly what I said, and I remember that very distinctly. Out of all this whole story, I remember that very distinctly. That's the only thing I said was, Jesus, help me, right? And just like that, gone. It was gone. I don't remember. All I know is that I jumped up immediately and I ran to my mama's room. And this is early in the morning. I shook my mom and I'm crying, bro. I'm spooked. I'm crying. I know I was finna die. Period. Simple as that. I go to my mom and I'm like, Mom, blah, blah, wake up. I'm scared. I wake moms up, man. And I held this against her since when I, into the way into the 30s, until I finally talked to her. But I held this against her because she was like, boy, go back to bed, basically, right? And at this time, I could laugh it, but at that time, I felt completely betrayed. Like I needed like I know, like no, this was it, yo, that was it. Um, it happened to me one more time, and I was in the California Youth Authority. I was doing time at Fred C. Nellis off of Whittier Boulevard in L.A. And I was laying on the top bunk, and I remember it was raining, and the exact same thing happened to me. But this time, for some reason, because I remember what happened the first time, it didn't have that type of effect, and I did the exact same thing, and the exact same thing happened. So it didn't have its effect. Now, that's an experience that I don't expect no one to either agree with or disagree. It doesn't matter. That was something that happened to me. And so as I ventured on, there was two books that when I was doing time in the California Youth Authority, I was real young. I was around 15 when I came across two books that completely changed my life all the way up to this day. Now you have to remember that I was raised like on my mama's side. My mama's side was basically Protestant Christian raising, and then on my father's side they were Catholics. Okay, so only knowledge I basically have is that, and of course school. Um, so and then of course my mother, she was a Black Panther. So I knew of certain aspects as far as, the civil rights and Martin Luther King, and I got those things, and even Malcolm X. But the first two books that I ran across when I was 15, when I was locked up in the California Youth Authority, one was the autobiography of Malcolm X, written by Alex Haley. Okay, so that was about Malcolm X, but I didn't know anything about Islam. I never even heard the term Islam or what a Muslim was or any of that. And so that blew my mind. The second book was Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper, talking about secret societies and aliens and man, that was okay. So I'm 15. Yes, I know about the streets. Yes, I know about selling dope. Yes, I know about gangbang. Yes, I know about that type of aspect of life. But as far as this type of different knowledge about the things that's out there, bro, I had no idea. So I started. Those two books completely changed my life all the way up to this day, man, because I never ever stopped seeking that knowledge. I went from studying the teachings of the Nation of Islam to Al Islam, from studying Shambhala Buddhism to, studying politics and Che Guevara from him to ferocious reader. I can't explain. I was just that sent me on a mission, bro, and I'm still on it today. And uh, when you go through that, when you're gathering the process, when you have certain experiences in your life that makes you make that transformation, or experiences in your life that makes you shift your conscious, and like, well, what is all this stuff? And I'm extremely intrigued. Like I said, William Cooper at the age of 15, he's talking about conspiracies and government conspiracies. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about, bro? What is this? The Nation of Islam teachings and all of that. I had no idea. All praise to the Most High that He even, allowed me to go through whatever I went through to acquire this knowledge. And it never stopped, and it hasn't stopped to this very time. And this is why I'm talking to y'all about it now, because it hasn't stopped. It's a continuous process. But, bro, you continue to go on and you continue to gather all this knowledge, and that's what I end up ultimately doing. I never stopped doing that, and I never will do that. And I understand how people get caught up in, the name, and you're right. Would that be the righteous name of the Messiah Jesus? No, it's probably not. Or people getting talking about the name of Yeshua or Yahweh Shai, or bro, I get it. But I can really, but then if you really think about it, I can squash all of that right now. Literally, according to scripture, I'm gonna squash all y'all beef over that. I get the name, and is it a true righteous name to call him outside his name? I get the whole argument, but I want y'all to real quick, in between all this story stuff, I want y'all to real quick listen to this as far as the name and what this issue is. And I get it, and then 100% you're right. But let me let me read you this. This is Revelations chapter 19, man, starting at 11. Now I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he judges and makes war. His eyes were like a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no one knew except himself. So even though you over here bickering about the names, and like I said, there's a lot of good points, so we don't need to go over there. But at the end of the day, bro, he's gonna have a new name that no one even gonna know. So that's not what you should be like really focusing on, man, right now. Not in these times. Um, I said my experiences because it came back to the point of, after all the things I've studied, after all the knowledge and wisdom I've gathered, the truth of the matter is, when my life was hanging by the threads, I was saved. We can get into, we need to remember that, yeah, there's a whole lot of our history. There's a whole lot of knowledge. There's a whole lot of stuff that's been taken from us. There's a whole lot of lies that's being told. There's a whole lot of everything that's going on right now. You do have to pick a side. I ain't gonna lie, but there's the aircraft in the air and the alien conspiracies and all this stuff that I've read about. And I'm not even joking. 20, 30 years ago, and that's what's so crazy for me, because the stuff that I read about 20, 30 years ago, I'm seeing now, and I'm like, whoa. So apparently, the things I was reading about actually was true, because I'm witnessing in my own lifetime for my own eyes, but also something that happened to me back when I was young that happened. I don't need to forget as well, that my life was saved as well. So even through all the mud, I have to remember that part, bro. And so even though I've gathered all this knowledge, bro, and there's a lot of things that's popping off right now. I'm talking about, I mean, we could go from, are we from Africa? Are we from here? And I remember the conversations that my great grandmother had with me, mama, saying, we ain't from Africa. What are you talking about? But that was the indoctrination of the school and what my mama at that time was, you know what I'm saying, talking about. So, but I remember the conversations with my mama, with my great grandmother. But even that information is blowing people's minds about, you know, who the true American Indians are. Even that type of conversation is popping up. And it doesn't, but it's getting deeper. So I'm talking about all these various different topics, all this information that's coming out, all that. I mean, and it's amazing to see the evolution of knowledge that's being revealed in these times. Now we got Congress talking about aliens. Come on, man. When y'all ever thought y'all would hear Congress having a meeting about aliens? That's what I'm saying. This is the time you living in. So all this, and it could be government conspiracy. It could be UFO technology, our technology, military technology. Okay, it don't matter. What's blowing my mind is, like I said, what I've studied in the beginning and throughout the times that I had begin. None of this was popping. This was just information. Like I said, you know, I've been kind of like involved as far as studying for quite some time. Is my point. You know, I'm talking about from George Norrie and you know what I'm saying, a lot of these coast to coast, and a lot of this stuff that a lot of people, you know, are catching on is they've been talking about for quite some time, for a long time. This is not, but what's scary for those who have studied it back then, there was really nothing popping like that at that time. You were just reading this stuff like, what? Is this real? And then now 20, 30, 25, 30 years later, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I read that. You see what I'm saying? I read that. And now you're literally living in it. Man, I never thought, come on, man, robots walking around just like, just walking, like going to football games? I mean, what? Come on, man. And so after all that time, the reason why I shared this story is just for the simple fact that no matter what you going through, no matter what you seeing, no matter how crazy the world is, you got to remember that you will be up under attack, that this is real, and that there's someone who can literally protect and defend and save you, bro. It's my point. And yes, that's from my experience. And yes, we can get into the debate of the names. And yes, we can get the debate of the holidays. And yes, we can have all this dogmatic conversations about various different things. My objective is to let you know that we are at war. Period. And that there is someone who loves you and who can literally save you if you tap in. And I ain't talking about no religion. No. At all. I have to keep saying that. And I'm going to keep saying that. So you can separate what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, let's get back to, you know, grandmama being in the kitchen early in the morning humming. And that vibe, that energy of what she was talking about is what went throughout the house and protected the house. We could tie it all in, y'all. Tie it in. Okay, so is America the old world as they finding out? I mean, look what's going on in the Grand Canyon. We can tie it all in. It needs to get back to that humming, that early in the morning in that kitchen. Tap in back to that spirit, bro. and remember your roots. If there's a war, there needs to be a general. I just want to share that with y'all because after all the things that I've experienced, and that's all the pain and hurt I've given to other human beings, man, and I'm completely and totally sorry if I've ever hurt. And the people I've hurt, I'm completely sorry, and I love y'all. Hope y'all accept my apology in all ways, man. You see what I'm saying? But no matter what, we got to realize what we really facing. This is not a game. I just want to share that with y'all, man. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, man. Peace and blessings.